America has always depended on the truth. When you have a dispute with some guy who repaired your roof and end up in small claims court, it matters that the guy tells the truth and that he's going to have a problem if he lies. It matters that the teenagers who hit you from behind at a stop sign tell the truth to the police officer who responds, and that if they lie, there will be consequences. It matters that judges and prosecutors don't treat you differently because of who you are or what you look like or who you know. Lady Justice wears a blindfold, so all Americans get fair treatment. It matters when the President of the United States trashes all that, lying constantly, attacking judges and prosecutors and investigators. It matters that the President insists upon special treatment for his friends and destruction of his enemies. It matters when the President obstructs justice and encourages other people to lie or to withhold evidence to protect him. The justice system in the United States is built upon the idea that the truth is a real thing and that it must be spoken by everybody and that we all play by the same rules. As the Justice Department's own manual says, the rule of law depends upon the even-handed administration of justice. Even-handed. That means you get a fair shake whether you're a Republican or a Democrat or neither. That means you get treated the same whether you've been to Mar-a-Lago or not. That means it doesn't matter whether Donald Trump likes you or not, because the investigators, prosecutors, and judges are going to treat you fairly even if you don't care for Vladimir Putin, or you've never swapped messages with Don Jr. about Russia or WikiLeaks. And the chief prosecutor in this country, the Attorney General of the United States, is not the president's personal attorney. He and his institution have obligations to all of us equally. No matter how many times the president tweets, the Attorney General shouldn't be cutting breaks to the president's friends and pursuing his enemies. No matter how badly the president wants to use a Bible as a political prop, the Attorney General of the United States should not be ordering violence against Americans exercising their right to free speech. He has a duty to all of us under the law. I worry that a lot of Republicans don't like what they see in the attacks on even-handed law enforcement, but they tell themselves that they don't need to worry about it because their team is in control. I hope they don't think that, but if they do, they're being short-sighted. Because someday, that corruption could come for them or someone they love. Because if Donald Trump becomes our tradition, nobody is safe. If the Justice Department starts deciding who to prosecute based on politics, all Americans are at risk, because eventually your party will be out of power, which means you could be investigated. That's not America. Donald Trump has a way of staining everyone around him, and that sure has been true of Attorney General William Barr, who was a respected lawyer before he decided to join the Trump administration and ended up marching through Lafayette Square on Trump's Bible mission. He was a respected lawyer before he decided to serve with a president who called people cooperating with the Department of Justice rats and praised those who obstructed justice and lied to protect him. A president who took Putin's side over his own intelligence community, who routinely lied about the people of the FBI. A president who smeared Robert Mueller, a true American patriot who literally bled for this nation in Vietnam and then devoted his life to serving the country. In a way, it's sad what has happened to Bill Barr. I wish he had the character not to be warped by Donald Trump. Maybe a stronger, more principled Attorney General would have been able to protect the rule of law. But then maybe he would have gotten fired for trying. It happens. Regardless, he decided not to risk his job by standing up, which is sad at the end of a long career. But it's much sadder what Trump and Barr have done together to the nation's trust in the Department of Justice and the rule of law. Trump hasn't accomplished a whole lot, but he created at least one legacy that's longer than his wall. He managed to convince millions of Americans that the federal justice system doesn't operate with integrity and that its employees routinely fail to tell the truth. And from the beginning, Attorney General Barr copied his president, repeating the dishonesty about the department's work and responding to Trump's demands for investigations and prosecutions of his enemies. The Department of Justice was damaged by that. It was damaged again when the Attorney General misled the American people about the work of the special counsel investigating the president. And again, when the Attorney General intervened in a case involving the president's friend Roger Stone to overrule the sentencing recommendation of career prosecutors. And again, when the Attorney General tried to drop a case in which Michael Flynn, a political ally of the president, had already pleaded guilty twice. If we're going to be a healthy nation, the damage must be repaired. Lady Justice's blindfold has to be restored. The facts and the law, not race or wealth or loyalty to Donald Trump, must be the only thing that matters. And no matter your politics, no matter your policy passions, you should see it the same way. Because this isn't about being a Democrat or a Republican, libertarian or independent. This is about what it means to be American. When it comes to our core values, there is no them. There's only us. The United States is a country that by most historical measures shouldn't even exist. Americans don't come from a common heritage or religion or language or culture. We have none of the normal glue to bind together a collection of humans from across the globe into a nation. Instead, we're an experiment. For 2.5 centuries, we've been held together by a set of values. Yes, we've always fallen short. After all, we held truths to be self-evident while we held human beings as slaves. But our values are the glue. Together, we hold truths. One of our most sacred values is that the truth exists, that it must be sought, it must be spoken. That is our center, our touchstone. The founders created a system for us to have the best chance of finding the truth. It depends upon oaths and promises, solemn commitments to tell the truth, whether it's your roofer or the President of the United States. Donald Trump's presidency represents a continuing frontal assault on the truth, on the very idea that truth even exists. It began with the first lie about his inauguration crowd being bigger than Barack Obama's. But so many lies, thousands of them, have followed that we risk becoming numb to it. And in that numbness, there's danger. That the flood of lies could wash over the touchstone of truth, against which we've always measured our leaders, and wash it away like a sandcastle at the beach. That we give up on the truth. And then we're lost. We have lots of policy differences in this country, but those are for another day. The obligation now of all who care about America's values, about its institutions and the rule of law, is to vote in defense of those values and institutions. Because without those, we aren't America any longer, and our policy differences don't matter at all. We need a president who will reflect the core values of honesty and decency that are the lifeblood of this country and its institutions. We need a president who isn't a pathological liar. We need a president who will appoint an attorney general not because he needs a personal defense lawyer, but because American justice needs a guardian. We need leaders who have devoted their lives to the rule of law. We need to elect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris this November. Thank you.